going southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with the One Hell of Life Outdoor Podcast, and this is the first time we're back in the studio. If you've been plugged in with what we've been doing, we've been dropping all these episodes recorded at the Ducks Expo, which was an absolute blast. But today we have on Dawson, and his last name's Peak, and I have him in my phone as Dawson, a town that we've hunted in, because that's where I met him when we were out on that teal hunt that we've talked about 100 times on the podcast.
Oh, we're going to talk about it another 101 times.
But Dawson was he just finished up his college shooting career, and we actually ran into him at the Ducks Expo as well, over at the Migra booth, and we're excited to talk with him. He's a fellow Georgia guy and spent growing up out on the Florida coast, sounds like, doing some diver hunting. But Dawson, thank you for joining us, man. We're excited to talk with you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, tell everybody just a little background. Growing up, I guess, kind of on the Florida Georgia line there, I guess, you'd say, what that was like, and how'd you get into the outdoors and all that?
Right. So growing up, I guess first of all, as you mentioned, my name's Dawson Peak. I'm from Valdosta, Georgia, and spent my whole life hunting. So my family, my dad, he went to school at AVAC and studied in the outdoors, and then all of a sudden decided that I guess college wasn't his thing, and started managing some properties for people, and ended up opening up a sport and clay range and quail hunting preserve. And so that's kind of what he's done his whole life. And then as I kind of fell into the groove of things as I got older, and working for him, working on the clay range. We have rifle and pistol range, sporting clays, and quail hunting, and kind of started guiding hunts when I got old enough, and kind of fell in from there. I guess shooting sporting clays competitively and hunting quail kind of fed me into trying to hunt things other than quail, hunting waterfowl, and did a little bit of deer hunting there, but waterfowl holds a special place in my heart. But I guess that's kind of how I got into it.
No, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I knew that's what you did now with the quail stuff, but I didn't know that was kind of like a family business, I guess, huh?
That's right. Yeah. We're based out of Quitman, Georgia, not far out of Valdosta, and we have 2 sporting clay courses. We have a rifle and pistol range, and then we also do the quail hunting. And that normally starts up for us around November and goes through February. We'll kind of lead into the first week of March. By that point, it's getting too hot on our dogs, and I'm not losing a dog over having fun to quail hunt. That South Georgia heat will get to them real quick.
Oh, I don't blame you, man. I would imagine even those certain times of year, there's times within that you got to be like, all right, we're not going out, past 11 o'clock or whatever,
Right. There's times, which we have a lot of dogs. We have, I believe, 25 or 26 dogs right now. So whenever we set up in the morning, we kind of keep in mind the temperature of the day and what it's going to be like, and make sure we have our water with us, and then we can swap the dogs out as we go. Even if they're only on the ground for 20 minutes, that's still getting them on the ground, and we just swap them out and keep on rolling.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come.
I've only been on one quail hunt. I think we may have talked about this a little bit at Ducks, but it was just this past February, and I thought it was really fun, dude. I mean, it's kind of sad, like, when you go on one to, like, think about, like, Georgia's heyday, because, I mean, way better than I do. Like, back in the day, this is what, like, Georgia was naturally just, like, the best quail hunting state. But it gives you a taste of that. And then also, I don't feel like it's one of those things that feels too, like it doesn't feel like a mallard, a staged mallard hunt. You know what I mean? Like, because the way I understand it, it's like, it's a certain amount of birds, and then your guide kind of goes and sets them out and, does the thing with them. But you're jumping these birds up, and, once they're flush, you're shooting at them and stuff. And I just feel like it has a genuine feel to it. I really enjoyed it. It didn't didn't really feel like I've never done one of those like private lake, like grown, or, pet mallard type duck hunts, but I feel like the quail it doesn't feel like that, at least to me.
Right. We try to make sure our birds are in good health as far as, when you're taking on a hunt, because we don't want to get out there with our hunters and we start flushing. I personally use my lab as a flush dog, and I don't need him jumping in and catching the birds because the birds don't have enough get up in them. We try to pay close attention to them, make sure that our hunters get a good, I guess, home feeling to a old fashioned quail hunt. It's not much fun when you sit there and just watch your dogs grab birds the whole hunt, because they can't get up off the ground. But like I said, we try to keep it as natural as possible, make you feel like it's not a pre-released hunt, and you're hunting birds in their natural element.
Right. Now, and I thought it was really interesting too. I'd like to hear some more about like the dogs working together, because when I went, they had a flush dog was a lab, like you said, and then they you'd have the pointers that would put it, kind of let them know where it was. But it's cool to watch the dogs work in a tandem like that. That's
right. Yeah. So we have several different types of dogs. We got Irish setters, we have red setters, English setters, we have some German short-hair pointers, we got some Brittany's, we got some English pointers, and then I got my lab, and I have another lab that in the works of getting trained and working with her. Hopefully I can use her as a flush dog. Which, you take a dog on a hunt like that, and it's in there, it's natural for them to hunt, so they're automatically using their nose or automatically going to it. All of our bird dogs. Well, my lab, I have been trained for waterfowl, and the only thing I've ever done with them was hunt waterfowl and dove. I was like, you know what, I got him, and I do more quail hunting because I have to guide as part of my job. I get to use him more doing that if I use him. So I started using him. About the third hunt, he just sat down when we got up. When the dogs were on point, he just sat down with the other dogs, and I was like, what's he doing? And I said, flush him up. He ran in there and flushed him up. Yeah, all right. Well, we're on the way back to the truck that same day. I already kind of finished our drop for the day, or our little route, and he's kind of about 10, 15 feet up in front of me, and he just stops and sits down. Like, well, I wonder what's going on here. So we get up to him. I said, come on, Rick, let's go. And he didn't move. And I was like, guys, I'm just going to try something here. I'm going to kick this bush and see if something comes up. And I went to kicking and thrashing around in there. Nothing would come out. I said, all right, flush it up, Rick. He went in and smelling around, kept going to the same spot, but nothing would come up. I was like, man, you've done sat down on a rat or something. You picked up on the smell and you just think you're doing the right thing, but there ain't nothing there. And I keep trying to get him off of it, and he won't leave. So I get down and pull the vines back, and a bird had done burrowed up in a hole there. I was like, man, I guess he does pick up on this pointing thing. So it ain't a traditional point, go up to it and one leg up, tail up. He sits down, but I count it for something. Yeah, no, for real. No, it is. And, when you have 26 dogs, man, I got to imagine, that's just that's a whole different thing on, the management and feeding all of them, and what kind of goes into behind the scenes, I guess, into taking care of all those dogs and keeping them trained and all that. Right. So, like I said, it's natural to them. We don't do a whole lot during the summer for two reasons. One, the heat. I mean, every week, the past 4 or 5 weeks has been triple digits, feels like, and it's just too hot to get them out and running. And two, what comes with the heat. We're worried about snakes. And when you got snakes crawling around, it's hard. I mean, we got a big run built for the dogs to get out and run. So when we let them out, when we're feeding them up or when we're washing kennels down every day, they get a good amount of running in, and they got long runs that their actual kennels are in, so they have a chance to move around and not coked up in a tiny pet crate all day, every day. Right. But it's tough during the summer and early fall to really do anything. So like this past year, me and my dad would like to do a waterfowl hunting in December. Well, we've done that the last nine years in a row with this outfitter in Arkansas, and had a great time. Was a great outfit, and we always killed birds but we were kind of ready to see something new, try something different. And my dad used to do a bunch of pheasant drives up in South Dakota and North Dakota. And we decided to do a little bit of freelancing. I bought a dog trailer last year, and we loaded up 8 dogs, me, him, and a couple other buddies, and we drove to Montana and put the dogs down and hunted block management land and just got them to run. It was a little bit cooler up there, so they could get their exercise in, kind of get them back in the groove of things for about a week, which ain't a long time, but it was just enough to kind of break a few of our dogs, get them loose, getting ready for season to come in, and had a blast while doing it. And then as days, like when you're getting closer to season, as the days get a little bit cooler in the mornings, we try to get them out. We'll run them down the dirt roads, or we won't quite run them in the woods yet, just, fear and snakes, don't want to get a snake bite. But we'll run them up and down the roads and just try to get their legs loose and starting to get a little bit better in shape for the oncoming season.
Man, going out west, I feel like that'd be kind of like a bucket list thing to go out there and freelance it like that.
Man, it was a blast. The first day we didn't have much luck. Kind of we're just between YouTube videos and hearsay, and there was one gentleman that had gone with us that he had been there before and done it before, so we were kind of just following his steps and didn't have much luck. And the places that we're walking, I mean, it's beautiful countryside. You'd think there would be birds everywhere, flushing up. And what we were mainly hunting was grouse.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess the first place we went to, it was, honestly, I was kind of scared about which corner we were going to walk around, and that big grizzly bear was going to be standing there waiting on us. I'm pretty certain that 28 gauge bird shot was not going to help me in that situation. But we with the second day come along, and from there on, man, we figured it out. We found some areas with a bunch of juniper bushes and just kind of figured out a common thing that the birds were always up under those juniper bushes. And I mean, we started.
Did you figure it out, or the dogs figure it out?
A little bit of both. The only problem we had with our dogs was we were working with 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Oh, wow.
And it was not helping this dog noses at all. And now, as far as the retrieving side of things, they had it down. And by the third day, they really picked up on the smell and going on point and figuring out how hunting grouse was different from hunting bobwhite quails in South Georgia.
Yeah, no, I bet, man. I bet it's a whole different ball game. Going back to, you touched on it a little bit at the beginning, but your time in college as a shooter and kind of how it went hand in hand with growing up quail hunting and running the clays and all that stuff. Talk to us a little bit about, how do you get into shooting for a college team, and where'd you go, and just some of the stuff you got to do.
Right. So I'll start back kind of where I started. So naturally, living on a gun range, you're going to shoot, and I did all the things. I played soccer in, grade school, and played baseball and did all these things, and it just never quite picked up for me. And I also shot archery and tried that out, and I was doing really well at it. But then I was kind of given an ultimatum by the coaches that I needed to pick, am I going to shoot archery or am I going to shoot shotgun? Because I guess they didn't like the time that I was putting forth for the archery. And
it's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable waders technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment.
And I just said, well, I mean, it's a pretty easy decision. I live on a gun range. I started shooting, and I probably started shooting when I was 10, and then started shooting competitively when I was about 12. And man, I hit the road from there. I shot all the way up. Shot every weekend. I was going to a different state, shooting a different tournament, shooting for the NSCA, which is the National Sporting Clays Association, and had a lot of fun doing it. And at the time, man, it wasn't many people my age doing it. It was more adults. So I was shooting against, people over 30. No one younger than that really did it at the time. Now you go around all these tournaments, and there's a bunch of 13, 14-year-olds shooting $30,000-$40,000 shotguns at these tournaments. So
oh my God, dude,
certainly changed since then. But I kind of hit the road, like I said, doing that. Me and my dad, my mom, my brother, we traveled every weekend. Our summer vacation consisted of going to a tournament, and normally it would be the U.S. Open, one of the big tournaments that I would shoot in. And we went to Kansas, we went to Texas a bunch, went to Illinois, Ohio. I've been to several different states shooting, and like I said, just kind of rocked on. 2016 came. I ended up getting sponsored and done. That was probably the highlight of my career at the time. At 16 years old, getting sponsored with a very high dollar shotgun, a Krieghoff, and man, it was awesome, and sparked a little bit more in me. Started shooting a little bit more. Rocked on through 2017. Towards the end of that year, I was in high school, and it kind of catches up to you when every weekend you're going to a different state, and during the week you're practicing or, helping dad at the gun range to help pay for all these events and, loading machines or picking up holes. And kind of got to the point that I didn't spend a lot of time with my friends that I had at school, and none of them shot. And they just weren't as interested in it as I was, or just didn't have the background that I did. And kind of wanted to start hanging out with my friends more, doing more with them on the weekends, going hunting. And my shooting career kind of slowed down. Graduated high school in 2019 and went to college at ABAC, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. And they had a team before, and it had gone dormant. And I started it back up, got a bunch of buddies together, and we started shooting again. And
oh, that's awesome, dude.
Went to a bunch of shoots with the school with ABAC and did well. Shot some tournaments in Nashville, Tennessee. Shot some tournaments in Ohio at the Cardinal Shooting Center there, and had a great time doing it. And 3 years into that, I kind of reached the limit as far as what ABAC could provide me education wise. I'm pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering, and the coach at Georgia Southern had kind of talked to me before at some tournaments that I won with ABAC, some state shoots that I won with them in the SCTP, which is like a scholastic program for kids as young as, I want to say, I've seen 10-year-olds shooting. They are young shooters all the way up through college. I think the limit's 25 years old for that group. But shot with them a bunch, won a bunch of tournaments, and then decided that I was ready to go to Georgia Southern to finish out my engineering degree, and walked on to the team here. And man, we had a great team. Still do have a great team. We've won. I've been there for 3 years, and we've won first in the nation 2 of those years, and then 1 year we got runner-up in the nation. And but the runner-up was in Vegas 1 year, and then the 2 national championships that we won were in San Antonio, Texas, at the National Shooting Complex, and that's over sporting clay, ski, and trap. So first in the nation over all 3 divisions.
Wow.
For our Division 2 that we're in, and man, we really dominated while we were there. And the year before I got there, that was the year they started, I believe, and they got first in the nation that year as well.
Go Georgia.
Southern.
So Georgia Southern's been knocking it out the park as far as that goes. But last year was my last year. I have 1 more semester of school left, and decided to take a step back. And I wouldn't really be able to attend most of the tournaments just because I will have already graduated in December. And so they're kind of on their own now, and they got a great team this year, and I foresee they will win nationals this year again. And they're actually going to be competing in Division 1 this year, so it's going to be competing against a couple of higher teams that have a lot more shooters on their team. But I believe our 25 shooters will be able to take them on pretty easily.
That's awesome, dude. And when it comes to obviously, to do all these events and stuff, I'm sure it's not cheap. Hotel rooms and travel, and what is from a school standpoint? I mean, is it like an on scholarship type thing, or does everybody kind of do some fundraising, or like how does that all work?
So we do a lot of fundraising, but just kind of backing up. When I was on my own, that was on my parents, and I love them. They put me through a lot, helping me get to all these tournaments and shooting all these states, and really helped me out financially, obviously, because as a 15, 16, 17-year-old, I'm not making the money to be able to attend all these tournaments, pay for practice targets, pay for ammo. When I got to ABAC, we did we tried to do some not scholarships, but some fundraising to try to raise some money for us to be able to afford it a little bit better. Georgia Southern has it better though. They're way better at their fundraising. Our coach, Marty Fisher, man, he works his butt off trying to fundraise for us and to get money for the team, because we have a club and we have the team. If some of us walk onto the team, and then other times we have tryouts to bring some talent in that we might not know about, that may not have been as good in a tournament. We may not have noticed them, and they come in, try out, prove themselves, and we put them on the team. But if you're on the team, everything is paid for as far as your practice targets, your ammo, your competitions, your travel fees, your hotel fees. Everything's paid for except for your food and you're driving to practice. So that was one really great thing about Georgia Southern that helped me out on the team there. And as far as going to a bunch of those tournaments, because still as a college student, man, it's expensive for this sport. You think about it, we go to practice twice a week and we're shooting 100, 150 rounds. And then you still got to pay for your targets when you go to those rounds. And then not to mention your airfare tickets to San Antonio or Las Vegas, Nevada. It's expensive.
Man, I can't even imagine. Yeah, I just know how I think about this a lot with duck hunting, deer hunting, and any of it. It's all kind of expensive, and it's kind of like it makes you wonder sometimes how these people can sustain certain things.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking the whole time you're saying that, and I'm thinking about what parents go through for travel ball.
Yeah, baseball,
yeah, with baseball. It's literally the same thing in so many ways, if not a lot more independence, and helping pay for your stuff. Everybody can kind of chip in on a team when there's parents, but when you got one guy, one girl, one guy, whatever, you know what I mean? It's almost like family, and it's on you, a lot.
Right.
I think.
And one thing that's cool about the NSCA, going to those tournaments, you have a possibility to win good money, really good money in tournaments, and it's difficult. You're competing against pros that have been doing this for a long time and can spend a whole lot more time, a whole lot more money practicing and shooting. And every tournament I went to, it was if I placed or I won any money in the tournament, then that went.
This summer, make memories on Florida's Forgotten Coast with Williamson Outfitters. From inshore and nearshore fishing to scalping and snorkeling in the bay, plus custom boat tours made for family fun, they've got something for everybody. And when the sun sets, it's time for a nighttime flounder gigging adventure you'll never forget. Small group or big group, day or night, Williamson Outfitters has a fleet of boats and a team of licensed captains ready to take you out. Call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650 or visit floridaducks.com. Williamson Outfitters, making the Forgotten Coast unforgettable.
Back into our travel account as far as my tournament. So, every tournament I won, no, I didn't break even, obviously, because, there's no breaking even in this sport, because you just think about all the money you put in practicing and gas getting to the tournament, or the side-by-side or whatever you buy to travel around in the tournament on the course. And it's expensive, but
you got to pay for
a little
that
bit
too.
of money winning something, you can throw it in there.
You got to provide your own side-by-side too at the tournament?
You can rent a golf cart while you're there, but them big tournaments you go to, they're going to get their money's worth out of that golf cart and then some.
Man, I would think that would. Well, anyway, that's just my opinion. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. But no, your point is that, man, there's just a lot of responsibility that comes with that, and maybe that's what makes y'all so good at shooting, is just that you are having at a young person's age having to get like physically and financially involved in your success. You know what I mean? And maybe it's a maturity thing. I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking out loud.
Yeah, it'll really pull you out of your comfort zones a lot, but you meet a lot of people. Okay. I've met several people that I can call now, and they can give me advice. They can help me out. There's a lot of great people in the shooting industry, and man, like my coach, who really taught me everything I know, Ken Branham. He lived in Jacksonville. We used to have a gun range down in Jacksonville, Florida called WW Sporting Clays. And we had a gentleman there named Ken Branham. He ran the place for us and helped manage it for us. And he taught me pretty much everything I know. My dad was there. He taught me a bunch of the basics, but Ken really, really put a foot in there and helped me out and taught me, like I said, everything I know. And he's just, the different people that you meet in the industry, it amazes me. You got business owners, corporation guys, and they can offer you jobs in the future. It plays a vital role. It forces you to grow up, mature, because you start spending all this money at a tournament, man. You don't want to shoot bad. You want to make it worth your while. You want to get your money's worth. You want to prove yourself. So, you're not going to halfway do any of this. You got to be in it or you got to be out of it. There ain't no in between.
That's a good point, man. And we've talked about it before with other folks, but like one thing just in particular is for sure, like from what I can tell, like the upland bird community is very, like you said, a shotgun be $30,000-$40,000. It's not like, I feel like anybody that gets into it's pretty damn serious and is probably a successful business person and or, like you said, somewhere from the industry or something like that. So I feel like from a networking standpoint, just going on those quail hunts, probably a lot of guys that come to your guys' outfit, are probably a lot of people networking, doing business out there,
Yeah, we do a lot. I don't say most, but a good bit of our quail hunts are businesses doing entertainment with, some of their customers, or having, I guess, quote unquote, business meetings and going on a quail hunt. Yeah, that's a perfect business meeting in my mind, going on a duck hunt or a quail hunt. But
you ain't lying.
You meet a lot of these guys when guiding them, and I met a lot of great people doing it, and I can't tell you how many offshore fishing trips that I've scored that I can go on now just from people that I've met. They're like, hey man, why don't you come down this summer and we go to offshore fishing? Or, I have one customer, he's like, he lives in the Bahamas and his vacation home is in Valdosta. And man, he's a great guy, awesome gentleman. And he comes in and he's like, yeah, anytime you come to the Bahamas, you and your family, you and your girlfriend, y'all come on down and hang out with us. I got a boat. Y'all can take the boat out and just come hang out for a week or whatever. And one thing he actually offers to us too is they have a lot of dove hunting down there. Or nice. Pigeon shooting. I think it's really pigeon shooting, and he sends me pictures all the time, and man, they're wearing out on the pigeons during pigeon season, and just it's trips like that I get. Getting a tip at the end of the hunt, that's great and all. That helps me get through college and take my girl out to dinner or buy groceries for the week or buy gas, and that's great and all. But the people that I meet and interactions that I get with these different guys, it's awesome.
Dude, I gotta say that's the first time I've ever heard that somebody had a vacation house in Valdosta, Georgia, and they live in the Bahamas. I'm like,
well, you know what?
Usually it's the other way around.
He told me this, I was shocked. I was like, wait, I don't think I heard you right, man. Did you say your vacation home is in Valdosta?
Dude, no, like literally when you go on like a upland bird hunt, I feel like you could show up to some camp and you'd be like, oh yeah, dude, I shot quail with Joe Rogan, Donald Trump, the Pope, and Shabuzi today.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like, yeah, and they all brought their $100,000 shotguns, and we shot some birds, and it was fun.
That's right.
But no, it seems like it's like when you think of the sport of hunting, right, and the stereotypes in the different continents. The first thing you think of in England or over there is you think about fox hunting, right?
Right.
It's got one of the deepest traditions, and it's something that, the royalty did, and it was a very special high-end thing even back then. And here, not that duck hunting isn't, or deer hunting isn't, or any kind of big game or whatever hunting isn't, but it just seems like there's a bit of a stereotype, which is fine, with like upland bird hunting, which is cool. I guess, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, they a lot of people, I guess, see it as one thing, and I don't know. It's upland. I want to say upland bird hunting has changed a lot over the years. I mean, it's had to, because you think about it, as you mentioned it earlier, back in the day, you could walk down fence rows in a cow pasture and shoot wild quail every day during the quail season.
Mm-hmm.
Birds everywhere. I mean, my dad tells me these stories all the time, and then nowadays, we have 1,300 acres there on our property, and I can think of 2 wild coveys, and they're really not that big.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Predators are just outrageous, and I mean, you think about the thousands of birds we release on the property every year, and still, there's only 2 really wild coveys there that survive.
Wow. Yeah, it is a special treat, and honestly, it's the same thing in Illinois, and I'm sure in several other states that I haven't been to, but it's one of those things where it's a rarity when you're walking through the woods now and you hear, what I mean? You're like, dude, that was quail.
The best is when you're walking to your deer stand and your feet come out from underneath you from a covey of quail you just stepped on.
Yeah, or a woodcock, man. Jeez, those things about freaking taking my heart away so many times.
Turkey's getting off the roost.
Turkey's getting off the roost. That's another one.
Right.
For sure. But those woodcocks, dude, that you almost step on them every time, dude. And they got that long ass needle looking IV thing.
Snipe, kind of.
Yeah. Just they freak me out.
I have been on a real snipe hunt, not the Walmart bag in the middle of the night, but I've been on a real snipe hunt. And if you have not done that before, you have got to do it.
I've seen a ton of them, man. We were out there one time by Jekyll Island duck hunting, and
oh gosh,
I mean, we had like
swarm.
I mean, it was like dozens to hundreds, like dive bombing us. Like
as soon as that tide went down, dude, they started from the innermost part and just kept working it all the way to the water's edge and swinging that stuff. And we were just sitting there going, "Oh baby, oh."
Man, they are very fun to shoot. Very hard to shoot. It's a difficult bird.
They're delicious too.
100%. They're really good. There ain't much meat there, but they're really good.
I've been really pleasantly surprised with how good quail is, dude.
Yeah, no, that was good. Dove's good too.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you this: when it comes to a quail, I spend so much time with them during the quail season that by the end of it, everything smells like a quail.
I bet.
I cook a steak, it smells like a quail. I brush my teeth, it smells like a quail. I change clothes and take a shower, it still smells like a quail. And you get so sick of quail that you don't want nothing to do with it. Someone says quail and you just want to gag. I mean, it's just...
That reminds me of working at McDonald's when I was 16. I was like, no matter where I went, I felt like I had McDonald's on me everywhere. Oh, dude. Oh, my God. That's funny.
It's just, everything smells like a quail.
That's crazy, dude. Getting back to kind of the hunting and the shooting, I kind of want to talk about from a technical standpoint, like my dad's used the analogy before with other stuff. Like, sometimes when you golf, you just kind of want to just hit the ball or, it's not like you're out there trying to be Tiger Woods or whatever, and I think with shooting, people probably do a lot of complicating certain things. Jeez. And
you're talking about with a shotgun.
Yeah, with a shotgun. From your perspective, Dawson, people that are just wanting to be your average, like, good hunter, what are some things you could kind of share from a tip standpoint, that you can go do to be better.
Like some of those things that skills have crossed over, I guess, right?
Yeah. Because some of it I know is kind of like, doesn't translate great to a hunt.
Okay, yeah. So I give lessons on the side. Naturally, I've done this, a long time, and probably my favorite client is a kid or a young guy that just getting into it and doesn't know much about it, and their parents are trying to get them better at it. And I really like working with those type of people. But
he's trying to tell me not to call him.
What's that?
I said, you're trying to tell me not to call you.
I will work with anybody of any age, but I can tell you this: it's normally the older people. And I ain't saying just old, but older than, I'll say 17 and up.
Yeah,
they don't listen.
Okay, yeah, no.
They come in, they want this lesson. I'm telling them to do these things, and then they just don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, man, I want you to shoot 10 foot in front of that target, and he still shoots 1 foot behind the target. Like, you're not changing anything, man. I know you're not going to hit it when you shoot 10 foot in front of it, but I need you to do something different for me.
Right.
But
Isn't that an interesting point? I want to bring this point out right now that, you are highlighting the fact that how coachable these people are, young people are. And I think that what's cool about that is, man, take that as a sign tonight. If you're listening to this, is that, even at my age, you got to take a step back sometimes and just go, man, I need to approach this situation just like with an open mind, like happy, not mad at the world, pissed off at work, whatever it was that day, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. Is just that they're a sponge at that age, just from being a dad and raising 2 kids. And I just wanted to highlight that. I think that's an important point you make.
oh man, it's crucial because, I mean, a lot of, I guess to just say older people, they grew up this one way. Their dad taught them this, or their uncle or someone they knew, relative or family friend or whatever. They taught them how to shoot. They taught them how to do this, and then it's just built into them. It's a habit.
Yeah.
It's something that they've created, and they can't change. Like, they physically almost cannot change themselves to change it to do better.
Yeah.
And it may work on some cases when shooting, but it's not. What I try to teach is going to work across the board. Now, don't get me wrong. I can hit an orange target just about all day long, but you put a duck in front of me or a dove, it's going to change a little bit.
Yeah.
If you go and paint that duck orange, I'm probably going to hit it. But if it ain't orange, it's a little bit more difficult because there's a lot, with a clay target, it's controlled. I know what that clay target's going to do when it comes out. I can set up for it. You can't set up for a duck or a dove. You can't set up for that. But the biggest probably tip that I can give that a lot of people that I see when I'm coaching is keeping both eyes open. All right. Do y'all keep both eyes open when y'all shoot, or y'all close one eye?
I keep them both open.
Yeah, both open.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me this, and tell me if I'm wrong. When you're duck hunting or dove hunting, you go up to shoot a bird, you got one eye closed, you got a very narrow sight plane or like not a big area to look at. You keep both open, you got your peripheral vision. You can see a bird left or right. You can kind of gauge a bird differently. And another thing too, when you close one eye, you focus in on what's closest, and what's closest is that barrel and that bead. You do not want to look at the barrel and bead. You want to look straight at whatever you're shooting and shoot. Because as long as you have your form down, when I say form, you got your gun on your shoulder properly, you got your cheek on that stock properly, everything's lined up, the gun fits you. Wherever you're looking, that barrel is going to be pointing. It's hand-eye coordination. When you play baseball, you don't look at the bat when you swing at the ball. When you play basketball, you don't look at the basketball when you throw it for the hoop. I mean, you're looking at your target, and everything else just goes with the motion. And that's probably the biggest tip I can put out there is really focus on the object you're shooting at versus that barrel or that bead. Man, if it were up to me, like my A400 that I shoot, I don't even have beads on it. They got knocked off, and I never put them back on. Now, my competition gun, since it's a higher end gun, I can't just bring myself to go knock the beads off of it. But I don't use them. I'm looking directly at that target, and I'm pulling the trigger. Don't think about it. Don't try to measure. Don't try to put that gap between the barrel and the bird, because the way I see it, you're not focused on that target or that bird. You're focused on your barrel, or you're focused on a gap in between, and you're probably going to miss.
No, that's a good tip, man. I think one thing, I mean, I find myself at some points, like, and I've probably gotten better at this with time. I just think one thing that I've struggled with time has been birds going away from me or coming towards me. It's for some reason, like, leading them left and right is easier for me almost than like going away or towards. And it's just kind of interesting. Like, I don't know, does everybody struggle with different things, or, is that the kind of thing that a lot of people struggle with?
Oh yeah, everybody has something they struggle with. Some people that their target that they're really good at as an incomer or going away. Me personally, I'm pretty much the same. I like a quartering target or a crossing target more so than an incomer or outgoing. trap has always been a little bit more difficult for me. And, that outgoing bird is kind of like a trap bird, except it's going over your head, or whatever, flying away. And it's just really being able to read what that bird's doing, kind of gauging the distance and understanding. Because if you can it's not a science. I don't want it to sound like a math problem or a science problem. It's
geometry problem.
It's just kind of understanding the bird and pulling the trigger. I mean, it's just look at it, focus on it, and really your brain's going to do the rest of it. That's what kind of practicing in the off season, going out shooting sporting clays, like coming to Southwind and shooting sporting clays.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Come on out and shoot with us. But you get to practice different types of shots, and it'll prepare you for the season on what that dove's going to do or what that duck's going to do, or quail. You shoot all these different types of birds. You get good at shooting those birds. Naturally, when you go to shoot at a duck that's flying in a similar pattern to what, the targets you practice, you're just going to pick up and shoot it, and you're probably going to hit it. It's really, a lot of people overthink it, especially they got a duck coming in at them. They're not patient. They get excited and shoot way too early. And then, the bird could have flown a lot closer, could have landed right in front of you, but you wanted to shoot at it in the air and just got antsy. I mean, it happens to me. I get excited and can't wait no more, and I call the shot, shoot them, let's go. And, call it too early, but really patience. It also works on your patience and just being confident with your shots and flowing with the motion.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think, one thing that we've talked in the past how like deer hunting first kind of made us like better duck hunters in some aspects, and then in other aspects probably made us worse. I don't know, but from a patience standpoint, you got to be so patient. My dad always was like, wait till your best shot.
Wait for your best shot.
Yeah, if you got a buck walking down a trail at 40 yards and you're gonna have, there's no the wind's not blowing that way. There's no reason that it's gonna not be there at 20 yards. Why not wait for it? But I think that's a good point to bring up. And it's not just, if they're coming in, it could just be like, you're going to get one more pass out of them and trying to get them to decoy in that last pass, because if you're going to take the passing shooting shot at 40 yards, that's still going to be there,
That's right. Right.
Yeah, no, it is. And I was sitting there thinking, and I'll try to go through this as quick as I can, but, because I've been shooting a bow all my life, it's like an extension of my body. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I'm certainly not as good as some of these guys that can like split an arrow coming at them and shoot an aspirin at 40 yards, all this shit instinctive. That's just special ability. They use the force somehow. There's no doubt about it. Tell me they don't. All right. That's some Matrix shit. And they've unlocked the secret, like some stuff that I don't know, David Blaine's got, or I don't know. But anyway, the point is that, my last big buck that I shot, I made an instinctive shot with a great bow. I was shooting a Halon 6 and got every bell and whistle on it, full metal jackets, all that stuff, right? And it's coming. I'm waiting. This coming right down the hill. I just watched the doe go right underneath me, and I'm up. When I'm on the creek, I'm probably about 22 feet in the air, but I'm sitting on a bank, if that makes sense, on this creek side. But up here on the flat, it's only like 18 feet, And she come running across there, and I just got ready and set up because I said, he's going to come right across there, and I'm going to shoot him right here at like 15 yards. And I'm sitting there ready, and I'm ready to pull back. Actually, I think I pulled back. Yeah, I did. And as soon as he got to getting ready to get up to that bank, and this is what I think happened, my shadow, and there'll be somebody that agrees with me on this shit, but I've had it happen more than once that I've had a buck walk up to my shadow, and I don't know if this happened in this situation, but my shadow was going that way, that they stopped dead in their tracks like they knew what that shadow was supposed to be at that time of day or something. I don't know, but it stopped dead in its tracks on a full trot and looked straight up in the air at me, directly below me, dude. I was like, no way did that buck just stop. I mean, it was like on a leash. Well, I turned and just, the buck broke and started to like haul ass out of there. And literally, I don't remember putting my sight on it, nothing. I put that arrow exactly where I wanted it, right top left side of the shoulder, right side of the shoulder, boom, and smoked it and dropped that. It dislodged that part of the spine, like when you hit that front shoulder. And dude, dropped him dead in the tracks right there. And I was like, dude, that's the best shot I've ever made in my life. Point where I'm going with this, when it comes to a shotgun and me shooting a duck, like Tristan was saying, flying away, a goose that gets caught in the wind whenever you call shoot them or whatever, dude, I haven't figured that shit out yet. I have not.
Sounds like you can come practice at Southland.
I know it, right? I know for sure, man. Where was y'all at down in Jacksonville? Just because we lived down there for so many years.
There was I can't remember the name of the town, but it was on WW Ranch. I think it was a motocross track was there too, at the front of the property.
Interesting.
I can't remember the name of the town though that we were in. 'Cause this place was really popping back when I was young, like 5, 6, 7 years old, and we closed it in 2016, I think. But I never spent a ton of time down there. More so, I spent a few weekends there when we had some tournaments, and when I was getting lessons with my coach Ken. And but that was a long time ago.
And now y'all are in Quitman, Georgia.
Yeah, we're in Quitman, Georgia. Right, just west of Valdosta.
Dang, man. Yeah, next time I pass through, because we go a good bit down to Orlando. My wife's mom lives in Winter Garden, and next time I pass through, I'm gonna have to come through and do some shooting.
Yeah, man, come see us. Come on.
Heck yeah. So, the Ducks Expo, we were just talking about that a little bit and seeing you there. What was your take on that whole thing? I thought it was pretty dang fun.
Man, that was a blast. I've never been to an expo like that before, and I recently got on I'm on the pro staff with Higdon and a pro staff with Migra, and kind of wanted to go meet the guys in person because, I deal with them over the phone, talk to these people, but I've never met them in person. And
sure,
kind of got to go meet everybody, shake some hands, and really do a little bit of networking. That was kind of my idea behind the whole event. I mean, yeah, it's cool to go see all the new products and go spend some money, which I certainly did that I did not need to do. But I had a great time, met a lot of great people, made a lot of great contacts, and looking forward to a pretty good, fruitful season this year and going hunting with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, dude, from a networking standpoint, I tell everybody that, I mean, there really is no better place to be. And that's really honestly our motivation too, is just kind of networking, exposure, kind of meeting the people we've talked to online, those kind of things. What was there anything crazy that you bought? Like anything that you're like, man, I had to get that. I know you got that picture on the last day, but
yeah, it got me a pretty cool painting. Add to my waterfowl collection. These kind of all my mounts that I've gotten done over the years, and but probably most useful thing I got, and I'll shout this guy out. I can't remember the owner's name, but Swamp Stick.
Oh yeah.
Make a great product. He really sold me on it there at the event. There's a lot of times that we go down to the coast and we're trying to lean our shotguns up against some palmetto bushes that we made our homemade blind with, or leaning it up against a chair, or always, saltwater eats everything. So we're trying to keep everything out of the saltwater, out of the sand there. And now that I got the Swamp Stick, it'll keep my gear, my gun, everything out of the saltwater, out of the sand. That's probably the most useful piece that I bought there. I easily say worth every penny that I spent on it. But guy had a great product, real small booth, but go up to him, just like I said, networking, meeting people. I saw something look pretty cool and went up and started talking to him about it. He had me sold pretty quick. But that's probably the best piece that I bought.
No, I feel you, man. I just got one of them. Similar idea. What's the company called? Hella Dry. I got one of those last season, and but same motivation. I just got so sick of. I mean, you hunt, some of the places we hunt in Florida are like, a reservoir type situation, and like, let's say you gotta you can't take a boat in, so you gotta take a kayak in, and then you get set up, kind of the same stuff we were hunting in Georgia together, but like, when there's 3 foot of water there, it's like there's no good place to put a shotgun. So like, you need something to be able to hang your gun on, hang a backpack on, like.
Yeah, dude. I mean, so many times we've just been sitting there, just, how it is. I mean, you're you're up to the top of your waders, trying to figure it out. Before I lose this thought, I just got thinking, when you were saying that, Tristan, depending on what public land area you go to, you always have like this guy that's got like this ingenious system to make something happen easier.
Yeah, you see like a redneck awesome system.
Yeah, whatever. Like, so one of the things I remember is, and I just got to go through this real quick because it was just so ingenious, was I was at the STAs down in Florida, and we're all getting there in the morning, and you couldn't park like right there. You know what I mean? And if you had two guys, you didn't want to have to like, I mean, you could park way down, have one person run back, but you're just like losing time. These guys had their canoes on these portable wheels.
I've seen those, yeah.
Well, I've got a set. I'm just looking at them up there, and I've got them stowed away, and I'm like, those are going to sit there. I used them one time, and they might sit there for 10 years, but 10 years from now, I'm going to be like, and everybody's going to be like, dude, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean? But don't we come up with some of the craziest shit? I mean, really, to make something happen.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, on them hunts, it's early, and it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or however early you're out in the field or in a water hole. You and your buddy sitting there talking, passing the time, drinking coffee or, a Ghost energy drink. Not good for your heart, but hey, you got to make it through the morning, right?
Right.
Yep.
And, we're like, man, this would be genius. We need to do this. And then day goes by. Hopefully you kill a lot of birds, you make it home, and you never think of it again until the next hunt. You're like, man, we should have done that.
Yeah.
That's like they say every great business idea starts in a garage over a bunch of beers with guys, right? I've seen reels on that. That's so funny, dude. It's like, dude, I've got a great business idea.
Man, tell you what, when I love when I finally get like an extended amount of time where I don't have anything going on, because that's the only time I think of, they're not all good ideas, obviously, or I'd be a millionaire. But when I think of ideas, good or bad, it's when I have some time. Like when we were driving this past weekend, I went to a bachelor party down in Florida, and on the way down there, Katie, my wife, was working because she was going to stay at her mom's, and I'm driving, and 4 hours goes by, and she's like, you haven't even listened to music or anything. I'm like, I've just been sitting here thinking, literally for 4 hours.
Well, you're trying to process while she's working. Tap, tap, tap. Everything else is going on. You're like, dude, I haven't slept, or I haven't been home in a week. And no, but that's right. You get so engaged with what life's got to offer you, is that you do like really forget to take the time. Just like when you do have that time, you're like, maybe I'm not dumb. Maybe I just haven't had time to think.
a bored hunt, a bored hunt when you get to sit there and think. It's nice sometimes.
Oh, it is. And that's why I still to this day, I love to go deer hunting by myself. Mm-hmm. I do. I need it. I have to do it sometimes. And not that I don't love hunting with Tristan or whoever. I took Tessa and Selena out in a blind last year, whatever it is. I love doing that. But there's something special about just doing it by yourself. Well, this year was the first time I was out there with Cade, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and the guys' butts were kicked from the weekend. Cade's butt was kicked, and I'm like, not me. I want to be out there duck hunting something. I go, can I just go out to one of the fields? And he's like, I don't give a shit. And I go, I don't need any equipment. I want to bother you. I walked out there, walked like a long ways to get there, and I come walking up, and no shit, a speckled-bellied goose just falls from the sky. I didn't even have to do anything. I was just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm just going to go up against this wood line and shut up. I was only about 10 yards from the blind, and smoked that one goose. And to me, that was peace. That was awesome. And I sat out there for another 2 hours, and I just remember just sitting there having time to think is where I'm going with that. It's just...
Yeah, no doubt.
You got to do it.
I know, Dawson, you were saying growing up, you did a lot, or still do a lot of duck hunting along the coast there in Florida. We had the opportunity to do that this past year over at Williamson Outfitters and had a blast doing it. But, I'm curious, what have been some of the funnest hunts you've had down there on the coast? And I know it's a lot of like redheads typically, some buffleheads. Has there been anything crazy that you guys have shot over the years?
Man, it's been... I think I've been hunting down there 5 or 6 years now, and we get down there. Typically, we don't go in the mornings just because it's never. I don't say never. It's typically not that not as successful in the morning. So we get down there about lunchtime and hang out on the land and eat food and snacks and wait till the last 10 minutes of shooting time. And that's when the ducks normally come in. But
Right.
there's been times, let's see here. This was 2 years ago. We're sitting in the blind, me and my buddy Zach. You met him last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my dog with me. He's in the little mow marsh blind I got for him. And great product, by the way. I don't know if y'all have one. You'll need one for your dog. I'm telling you, it's a great product. But
those are the ones that like fold up and you can stick all the stuff on all the grass on it and all that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be careful down there on the coast with your dogs on that saltwater, man. Keep water. I always take some Pedialyte for after the hunt and make him drink a lot of Pedialyte. But
that's smart.
Just
that's a good tip.
He's gonna drink salt water when he's down there. He ain't gonna like it, but he's gonna end up drinking it because it's natural. They're in the water retrieving the duck. They're gonna drink some of it. But we're sitting there. Me and Zach are talking, not paying much attention. It's probably 2 in the afternoon. Just me and him. Normally we don't ever go down there. It's just two of us, but no one else could go. And we had the day off, so we're like, man, let's run it. Let's see what happens. And went and put out a bunch of decoys sitting on the island. Ain't nothing happening. And my dog picked his head up, and he kind of whines a little bit. He never whines. He's pretty quiet in the blind. And like, what's he whining at? And it just so happened that time the sun where it was glaring in our decoys pretty bad, so we couldn't see that well. But when we stood up, I was like, Zach, there's a duck right there swimming through the decoys.
No kidding.
Never heard it come in, never saw it, and I shot. We both jumped up, and it flushed, and we shot and killed it. And he went out there and got it. And it was a gadwall.
Whoa, well that's pretty cool.
Since when do you shoot gadwalls? Like that's never happened to us. No, like I said, it's redheads or buffleheads or mergansers. Good old merganser. But it's never something like that. That's probably the coolest bird we've shot down there. Like that. We've killed some bluebills down there as well. But I think I heard one of our friend groups that hunts down there a lot. I think they killed a snow goose last season or season 4 last. I was like, man, that goose was lost. He was very lost. But yeah, we've been hunting for a few years now, and we typically hunt, all around the Gulf in there, and it's a good time. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's a lot of sitting around, but gives us time to just hang out with buddies, talk, chit chat, and shoot the bull and have a little fun while we're doing it.
Yeah, and I would imagine, I mean, haven't done it near as much, but like, when you got a small group, but B, you're only getting like 1 to maybe 3 or 4 groups. I mean, it seems like anyway, because it's like you get these big groups to decoy though, but it's like you might get 1 or 2, and that's like you said, the last 10 minutes light. That can kind of be it for the day. And man, it would probably suck if you're just 2-man hunt, you get your 2 redheads a piece, and then you're just like getting redheads that shit on you over and over again. Like,
that's right, man. So one of the first times we went down there, I used to have a eBads layout boat, and we went down to the coast. Me and my buddy Zach and my dad and my taxidermist were coming too. Well, their boat ended up tearing up. And this little eBads layout, but I don't know if y'all seen them before, but they're not very big. I mean, they're 2 people maximum with a few decoys. Well, we had that thing loaded down with decoys, me and him, our gear, guns, and we get out there, we drop everything off, and then my dad calls like, hey, can you come get us from the boat landing? It wasn't that far of a trip. I was like, yeah, I'll come get y'all. And in that little boat, I have a 9-horsepower mud buddy on the back of it.
Nice.
And it's taking forever to get back. I get there, my phone, I've done missed 3 calls from Zach, and I just dropped him off 15 minutes ago. And he says, hey, are you on the way back yet? I'm like, no, I just made it to the boat landing and picked them up. He's like, well, can you go ahead and come on back? We're done hunting. I'm like, what do you mean we're done? We ain't even started. I left you and you're putting decoys out. And he said, group come in, and I shot twice, and I accidentally shot 3. He said, I hit 2 in one shot, and we got 1 more bird, so you got to come shoot it. And I'm like, what the heck, man? I didn't even get to hunt. My dad and they ended up just turning around going home because, like I said, with the boat trouble, and they didn't want to get in my little surfboard with a motor, basically. But
Right.
I went back, got my one bird, and we packed us up and came on home. I mean, those hunts can go like that. You can get down there and be halfway through setting your decoys out, and a big group of birds come in, and there's 2 of you, and limits 2 a piece on redheads, and that's the hunt. That's it.
No, man.
Unless you can wait on some buffleheads or some mergansers to come through, or occasional bluebill, but typically it's mainly redheads on us.
Yeah, I think every hunter's kind of thought or came close to that situation or had that situation, because like, especially, you know, you get a big wad of teal, and you got a lot of guys shooting, or you know, whatever it might be. Like we did a bluebill hunt last year at Merritt Island, and I'm just saying that because it's a lottery, or it's a National Wildlife Refuge lottery area, and there's a lot of different spots to hunt, so I'm not giving anything away. But, you know, bluebills, it's only 1 apiece, so you get big groups, but it's kind of like you can't even really shoot into the big groups because you're like, you only get one, so you're sitting there waiting for like a pretty one to come by, and also, you know, when there's not, you know, 30 of them landing in the decoys. So
that's right.
I heard a story.
Oh, it's a show, dude.
Yeah, I heard a story. I guess it was a few years ago where, and I forget who was even telling me, but they were teal hunting in Arkansas, and they needed, like, you know, you need 6 obviously, and I think it was like a group came in, he dropped 3 with 1 shot. So then he went from having 5 to 8 or something like that, and he went and picked them up because he's like, well, I didn't mean to do that, but I did, and the game warden ended up giving him a hard time about it or whatever, but because I guess the game warden saw it go down and was asking about the birds or whatever, which I think I'm getting the story right, but I've just always thought if that ever happened, I would just be totally honest, but like, dude, like, I mean, I'm like, it's kind of hard
guilty.
Yeah, it's like if I ever got, you know, if that happened, I'd be like, man, you know, it's just like, how you gonna? It's hard when you get a group like that. You need one more bird. You know, shit happens. You know, I'll take the ticket, and obviously, I'm not trying to cheat the system.
Well, I think most of the times a good game warden, if you call in, at least this is what I've seen publicly on TV. If you see a person that calls in making their mistake, they usually will. You have to pay restitution for the animal, which is fine, because what you're doing with restitution for that is you're paying for that meat to go somewhere. All right, so if it's like a deer or something like that, they might charge you.
Well, don't they assess a value to what they think it costs the state to regrow that asset or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. So
not to call an animal an asset, I guess. But.
Yeah, but so reasonably thinking, yeah, I mean, you broke the law, you took the risk, and that happened. It's just like no different than if you can only shoot 1 turkey and there's 2 gobblers in front of you, you got to wait for sure that one clears. Or if you have a buck next to a doe and you only got a buck tag, you got to make sure that buck's clear. You know, you see it with people that they do it all the time when you're talking about rifle hunting.
Well, that's a little bit different, though. It's a little bit controlled versus a spread of a shotgun. And,
I know, but you still put yourself at risk in that situation. No different than, you know, what I love about Cade is every time we have like a good shoot, he will like stop short of the limit.
Yeah.
He'll stop short of the limit and just say, just in case there's cripples out there.
Yeah.
And he'll be more than safe about it. Like he'll say, like, I'm not even going to shoot my limit.
Yeah.
You know, and something like that, which is just, I mean, you can be proactive with it, but I'm not taking what you're away from what that story was. It's just, that's an unfortunate situation, and you just got to bite the bullet, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Dawson.
Yeah, I've been on several hunts where, you know, we've been close, and it's like, hey guys, we got to stop. We got to make a count. We got to figure out where we're at, because you get excited in those moments, man. You can make a mistake, and like you said about talking to the game warden, I'm cool with game wardens. I appreciate their jobs. I'm glad they're out there to kind of regulate those other people that are not as respectful towards the waterfowl or the industry or any type of game like that. I mean, God gave us that game. We gotta take measures to preserve it at the same time. I mean, yeah, it's fun to hunt it, but we got to be sure they're going to be around for generations to come.
That's right.
And, you know, there's been several times that I've had to talk to the game where I've never gotten a ticket. I'm just honest with them. You know, I've never done anything wrong in the times that I've been checked, but you just got to be straight up with them. Like, yes, sir, no, sir. You know, you give them the respect, you know, that, you know, you want to, how you would want to be talked to. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you that same respect back and be real with you, you know.
No.
But it's the times that they tow them up, and then you're automatically being a douchebag to them and not respecting them at all. And I mean, why would he want to be easy on you? You know, you're being disrespectful to him or rude to him. He's just trying to do his job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you don't feel like you're on the same team as a game warden, then you need to do a checkup from the neck up, honestly, because now I'm not going to take away, there are isolated game wardens that we all know them that were like, we could sit here and just trash the small percentage of what that is. But the majority of game wardens that are out there, they're out there to protect our resources. They're out there to make sure we stay safe. And that's one of the 2 big things that they're going after. And if you don't support that, then I don't know. Maybe you need to take a look.
I'll tell you this real quick story. There was a group that I'm buddies with back home. They hunted a lake close to our hometown, and at the end of the day, they go out of the lake. Game wardens there at the boat ramp and said, you know, they had their legal limit. Everything was good. They all had their license, their plugs, the right ammo. I mean, they were straight across the board. And he said, am I going to find bait out there? And they said, no. And the game warden watched them where they hunted. I mean, watched them from the boat ramp, saw where they were hunting. Well, he went out there and found another group that was hunting on the other side of the lake. Now, I ain't talking the 2-acre pond. I'm talking big, big lake.
Yeah.
On the complete other side of it. And he found bait where they were hunting. He called those boys back to the lake that he had already checked that morning and gave them all bait tickets.
Oh, that's not right.
And it was like, why are we getting a ticket? We weren't hunting over it. You watched us where we hunted. Like, you saw us where we were all morning because we saw you on the boat landing. We were legal across the board, and you're going to give us a bait ticket for something that was hundreds and hundreds of yards away from us. He said you were hunting in baited water. Well, they took it to court and fought it, and it got dropped. But, I mean, it's stuff like that. It's like, come on, man. You already got people that are out for you. You don't want to give them more ammo.
Dude, I almost got a ticket from a game warden in Illinois for having a, what are those, you know, the fluorescent lights? It's like one of those emergency light radio things.
Oh, yeah. Straight like a light type.
Yeah, he pulled it out of the back of my Jeep and goes, and what is this? And I go, are you shitting me right now? Like, you could give me a ticket for my headlights way before you could that. I mean, because, you know, I mean, headlights are the same as having a spotlight, you know, or whatever. But
some headlights out there that are unreal.
But that's the kind of thing I don't like, is like when they're trying to they can look at my history and see that I bought a license all these years since I was a kid, you know, I mean, you know, and if I did something wrong, I'd do something wrong. I almost got a ticket one time because I shot a bearded hen and my first turkey, and I shot it with a bow, and I'm like, I think it's a hen. And so I took it in. I was so excited. I took it right up to the ranger station in this WMA in Illinois to show it to him. Because I'm like, dude, this is cool. And he's like, where's the tag at? And I'm like, I haven't put it on it yet. Honest to God, I was so excited to bring it up here and show you guys. He's like, you're lucky I don't write. I mean, that's the attitude he had. Not congratulations. And hey, you know what, bud? I know you've been around for a minute. I mean, I was like a 30-year-old guy, right? You know,
right.
Dude, just be straight up with me and don't be a douche. You know, I mean,
damn.
But I honestly, those in the grand scheme of things, those are isolated situations, right? I mean, they really are. I mean, most of the game wardens that are out there to help us protect the thing that we love. So
yeah, no doubt. Dawson, so you know we've talked on this podcast, like I said before, 100 times, and if I hear the story one more time from our mouths, I'm sick of hearing the story. But I want to hear your take on that morning in Georgia that we had together.
Please start it out with your scouting,
because that was pretty cool, man. Just I mean that have 16 guys like basically all shoot a limit. I mean, on public ground
in nowhere, Georgia.
I mean, that was pretty damn cool, and yeah,
we curious to hear some birds that morning. That was fun.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I personally, I was not on the guys that went scouting for our hunt that morning. They went down that week of and scouted the hole out, rode the rivers, and went up on the levee. Same thing. They spotted a few birds and they didn't see what y'all saw in y'all scouting part, but they saw enough birds to say, hey, let's go, guys. Let's do it. And they actually ran into those Coast Guard guys while they were down there scouting. And, kind of have y'all mentioned before, like, there's a very small space to hunt here. It's obvious we're all going to end up in the same spot if we're any good at scouting. So there's like, hey, guys, let's link up that morning of. Let's make it happen together. And it was kind of one of those things. Two of the guys in our group, one of them owns a restaurant, and one of the guys works for him there at the restaurant. And so he's pretty busy with that till late in the night and couldn't go the day before. But me and another guy went the day before and made it down there, met up with the Coast Guard guys, and went out on that started going down the river, made it up onto the levee. That's where we run into y'all. And let's go over and talk to them and see, because I'm pretty sure if we're both stopping at the same spot in the levee, we're probably going to the same place.
Yeah.
So we kind of made our way over there to y'all, or we kind of met there in the middle, and all decided like, hey, let's do this together, man. We got more on the way, but if y'all cool with it, we're cool with it, and no reason to try to argue over it or anything. Y'all had beat us there, and it worked out, able to hunt together, and we, there that evening or late into the night, into the morning, we hung out there on the levee. I think someone brought sausage dogs, and we cooked sausage dogs out there on the levee.
Yeah.
We all took a little nap, or some of us took a nap, swatting mosquitoes and hanging out, telling stories. And then, we all decide there, I think, I can't remember if it's right before we started crossing that big ditch. But, one thing that sticks out to me that I love, and I don't do it enough, but man, saying that prayer right there before the hunt, bless that hunt, have a good, successful hunt. That was awesome. And we started making our way out.
We don't do that enough either. I thought that was kind of a cool, just spur of the moment thing.
That's right. And we made our way across, and that was a long walk. And I videoed part of that walk on my phone. And it's just a trail of headlights. All you see is headlights up in front of me and behind me. And it's like a snake just going through the bushes. We were walking everything but a straight line. And I think we made that walk 5 times longer than what it needed to be. But we finally made it to water, and then birds started getting up off the water. And it was just like, this is it, guys. We are going to absolutely wear these things out this morning.
Oh my God. I remember looking at the map. I actually did, like, on HuntWise. It was 700 yards, I think, to where we all set up.
Right. Man, crossing that ditch too, man. I'm glad we had that, that rug we had there to cross that one deep boggy part.
Dude,
getting across using the canoe, shuttling back and forth.
I was about to say, y'all kind of saved us on that deal, because I don't think we brought a canoe or something, and I don't know how we thought we were going to get across, but I don't even think we brought a canoe.
No, dude, we brought all those 2x10s.
Yeah, and it didn't work. That's what it was. Is that what it was?
No, we brought the 2x10s, and then we also needed the crates or the pallets that they had.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it truly would not have happened without combined resources.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man.
Like, it wouldn't have.
Using that canoe to get across that thing and shuttling everybody and making that long walk. And then, I hate it for the one guy. I keep forgetting his name.
Hunter.
Yeah. Man, he was having a tough time, but glad we could get everybody out there and get set up. I remember because y'all set up a little bit further out than we did, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all were crossing that wet area.
Yeah.
And he made it about halfway, and we're kind of getting our stuff set up. And I look, and you could just tell in his face, man. Our headlight hit his face, and he was done. Like, done.
Poor boy, dude. That was tough.
Me and Tristan just made our way out there too, and we kind of met him in the middle. And I took his gun, and me and you both grabbed his shoulder and helped him up, and we got him across. And he said, "Guys, I can't help with decoys or nothing. I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
And I'm not moving until the end of this hunt."
Oh boy, that was how it went down too. He just Hunter I was talking to him a couple weeks ago, and he goes, man, he's like, I can't wait to get out and hunt with you guys again this year. He's like, but if you find teal again, don't invite me.
No, but here, let me take something back, and I do this all the time just because I'm the older guy, and you guys will do this shit when you get my age, but I just love that I have these resources available to me, because I have so many years, like most of my life, that I don't have those resources available to me. You know what I mean? Like, to recall a hunt, it's just a memory or a Polaroid that my mom sent me, or something like that. And I'll sit there and I'll watch this video and just break it down 1,000 times. I mean, probably out of the over 10,000 views that we got, like probably 300 is legit mine. I mean, legit. But just as an old guy, I just sit there and I'm just like, man, I think about what you all think about it when you're my age. And truly, I don't think that something like that will ever happen again in my life. And it was the biggest risk. I mean, I had to pull money out of my pocket when finances weren't good to help pay Dalton that gave me an incredible deal, to film it. But it was still like if this doesn't turn out to be a video, my CFO that lives in this house with me is going to shut this shit down. Like she is going to shut it down. But the thing that I remember the most, you guys, is when you watch that part. And Tristan, you did such a good job with the music. And Dalton getting that far back view of us all with headlights working hard to bring everything through. And you couldn't see it in the dark in that video, folks, but we're passing along people's guns, just everything that everybody needed. It was just nobody even had to manage the crew. Everybody just snapped into this mode of we're all working together. And,
well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and then when we heard those birds get up, bro, do you remember that? Oh, it almost made my heart jump a beat, or like a flutter in my ear, like almost popped or something. It was I was like, holy shit. Oh my God, dude, this is gonna be stupid. This is gonna be stupid. And to me, that's one of the small pieces of that I'll never forget, is just listen to every one of y'all, everybody that was there, those voices in the dark, it's like, did you hear that shit? And somebody's like, I'm sitting up over here though. No, you're not. Get your ass over here.
Well, honestly, it would have, I wish that we could have had 2 camera guys and had one on y'all too, because that would have showed just the
intensity,
the craziness of the hunt from. I mean, so with 6 guys, we shot 29 over on our side, and then you guys, all 10 of you guys shot 6. So I mean, it's like, if I remember right, I mean, it was just like,
you guys had that. What was that cyclone thing you guys had going?
Wild.
Oh man, yeah. So we got 2 of them jokers now. They worked,
bro. That was the freaking crack.
Yeah,
it was. I can't remember. It's a cyclone or tornado or something, but I believe it's a Mojo product. But one of the guys in the group brought.
Kind of looked like clones.
He's like, man, this is the secret. This is the secret weapon. This is it, man. This is what's going to do it. Nobody else has one. And I'm like, yeah, because everyone's not dumb enough to use something like this. Like, this
car
is not
battery, right?
Yeah, we carried a car battery out there. So he puts this thing up, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if this does work, it's going to be amazing. But carrying that battery, because we had it in a backpack, we had it strapped to the back of a backpack, and I think I had that backpack. I had that plus my gear, and someone brought a sled, I believe, and we used that too, which was super helpful. But not everybody's gear can fit in that sled, obviously. So everybody's backpacking stuff. Everybody's got guns. I just remember my bag being so heavy from that car battery. I forgot about the battery, honestly, till you just said something. But it has I want to say because we couldn't just leave the battery there at the bottom of the cyclone, because it was kind of out in a little bit deeper water, and the battery's up on the bank. I want to say it was like a 50 foot line that we had to run out there.
No kidding.
And so we're trying not to trip on it, or walking out there, which luckily one of our guys brought his dog, and man, that dog she did a phenomenal job picking up birds for us that day.
Yeah.
And buddy of mine, Jim, man, he spends a lot of time training, does really, really great with all of his dogs, has successful dogs. And but
how fun was it? Sorry, go ahead.
I was supposed to bring my dog that day, but down in that area is very common for gators.
Yeah.
Bad gators.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And so you may want to beat that name out. But anyways, I went down there, and I couldn't do it, man. I wasn't gonna put my dog in that situation. I mean, that's my boy. I can't, it's hard to put your dog in a known situation where there's common gators. When we got down there and I shone the light across that levee, I didn't see any eyes, and I was kicking myself. I was like, man, I should have brought my dog.
Well,
Should have brought my dog.
I will say that not to go on a tangent here, but the water was so low that time that probably played a role in it, and I might like I know you probably know that too, Dawson, but the next year when we went out to the same spot and the water was 3 foot across that whole pool, we counted 62 gators at one time
In frame.
From the levee.
In frame.
Oh, yeah.
Insane, bro.
Yeah, no, dude. No, it was just, man, I don't know. I will take that one to the grave. I certainly will. And the fact that you guys did the work too, and I'll tell you that what got me into duck hunting, loving duck hunting, was honestly the first time I ever went was on a quota draw. And it was one of those environments that, like, if a bird flew over you and you missed them and went over to another blind and they smoked them, everybody yelled like, hell yeah, it was just like, woo, and you
excited,
guys,
that's right.
I remember you guys had that first volley and just wrecked them. I don't know how many you wrecked in that first volley, but I remember all of us.
I don't think many got out of that first volley.
No, dude, you guys rained them out, I think. And dude, we screamed across there, let's go. And then you guys would be like waiting for us, and some would come past you and come over and hit us, and we'd rock them, and you guys would scream at us. That was fun doing that back and forth.
It's like it's like a dove shoot.
Yeah. Or if you missed a bunch, I hear somebody go, come on, or whatever.
I do remember one part. We kind of laugh about it now. I may have said something to Tristan about it, but we looked over one time. It was kind of towards the end of the hunt. Things were starting to die out a little bit, and y'all were taking the opportunity when there was a little bit of break to, I think, get some B-roll, some videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a kind of a small group of birds flew right over y'all. We're like screaming and yelling at y'all.
Dude, I remember that.
Y'all were over there taking pictures with the mojo. And we're like, no, shoot the birds.
Yeah, no, dude, you actually have a video of that on the video, Tristan, but you dubbed it in a different spot. And it's one of those right towards the end before it switches to day 2. There's this giant group of birds that flies in front of us and nobody does anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what that was. I remember that.
That was at the end of that hunt. I was like, I'm never, ever videoing a hunt because I'm not going to miss the opportunity to shoot birds. Now, looking back at it, me and a buddy are wanting to start our own little social media thing, and I don't care to sell backpacks or sell shirts, like a lot of people are doing now, which, I mean, that helps create money for your, to pay for your hunts or pay to get your more credit or I guess more videos. And yeah, but like, I just want to video the story, man. I just want to video our hunts.
Yeah.
Kind of really, I guess, for ourselves,
Yeah.
Oh,
and we post them, but like really just for ourselves.
Well, dude, I'll tell you this too, and this is what the video doesn't depict, and it's just because I wish I would have done a better job with it, is that second day, I was so like mad about, everybody's done, they've shot their birds, and I'm like, dude, I got to shoot a limit. And it was one of those where we said we were going to pick up the decoys, and literally one came flying over the top, and I was keeping a gun in my shell that one time. Right? When you're like, nah, no birds are going to come. We're picking up our decoys. Dude, that's when I got my limit. And that sealed it for me personally. I was like, all right, done deal. So anyway, but man, where can everybody follow you and catch up with you, bro?
So my Instagram, DT Peak 2016. And then, if you want to book a quail hunt, I just throw my personal number. You're more welcome to call it out, 229-415-6028. Give me a shout. I can give you a little bit of information about our gun range if you want to come shoot, or if you're in the area or passing through. Come book a quail hunt. It's a lot of fun. If you book it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm probably going to be the guide for it. Yeah, wanting to keep up with our hunting life and kind of how we do things, or if you want to get a shooting lesson in, or if you want to just come practice or shoot some quail, hit me up.
Sounds good, man. Well, it was great talking. Glad we got to see at the Ducks Expo, and hopefully we'll find ourselves in a blind somewhere in one of these states this fall.
Well, and certainly you get up here in the Atlanta area, bud, you let us know, and we'll go have a beer, coffee,
dude,
or something.
Next time.
And I try to steer as far clear of Atlanta as I possibly can.
Well, we're on northeast side outside the perimeter, so we
all right, yeah, that's all right then.
It's livable.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, no, maybe one of these days we can do a podcast in the studio. That'd be fun.
Might be able to catch up with you at at a banquet here coming up pretty soon, I hope.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The Chattahoochee.
Yeah. So Dawson's messaged me, and then so it's you and your buddy, and then we got, I think, 2 other people have joined in so far. So I think we're at 6 total. So you fit 10 at a table. So if you're listening to this and you're in the Georgia area and you want to join in with us at the our local Delta Waterfowl banquet, October 24th, hit us up. We're gonna do like a group table thing. So
And what city is that in?
Noonan, Georgia.
Noonan, Georgia.
So, well, right on, man. Well, thank you so much, Dawson. And yeah, it's one hell of a life.
It's one hell of a life, Dawson.
That's right. I
Thank you,
agree.
bud.
Let's
Appreciate
keep living
you.
it up.
Can't wait to see you.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on a midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.